The number of victims of the fire that has been ravaging the northern part of Los Angeles for a week is growing. At least 24 people have lost their lives, but this may not be the end of the nightmare for California residents. Meteorologists have issued another warning of particularly high fire danger, and strong winds are expected tonight, which could hamper the firefighters' operations. We were not informed of this. I normally spoke to a customer on Zoom. Together with Mrs. Anna Savicka. For the first time after the fire, we drive to see the house where she lived. The closer we get to her neighborhood, the more destruction we see, and the less hope remains that the house has survived. When we reach the site, the darkest scenario comes true. There was one floor here, and here were two smaller apartments. Nothing is left of the beautiful house overlooking the ocean. Words cannot describe it. Mrs. Anna still hopes that in this rubble, some kind of memorabilia has survived, anything that would remind her of her lost life. But there is nothing. Everything has been consumed by the fire. What are your plans for the future now, Anna? I don't have any plans yet. I don't even know where to start. I need to calm my thoughts first and consider the pros and cons and think about what my next step will be. I have no idea at this point. In front of Mrs. Anna, still one more painful task, a conversation with her 8-year-old son, for whom, after all, this house and the neighborhood were his whole life. Of course he would like to go home. He asks, "Mom, can we go home?" What do you tell him then? That unfortunately, no. We're leaving the devastated neighborhood because the curfew is about to start and the National Guard will be out on the street. There are plenty of stories like Mrs. Anna's. After all, thousands of people lost their homes and possessions. Now the lives of those affected by the fire, their lives, without the help and support of others, would be virtually impossible. The faithful at the Polish church in Los Angeles know this very well. As soon as they heard that at least 5 Polish families were affected by the fires, they rushed to help. These are actually all young families with children, so we are collecting things like basic hygiene products, some things for the kitchen, clothes, and even toys for the children to somehow comfort them. Places like this restore faith in people. In a massive parking lot in North Los Angeles, hundreds, even thousands of volunteers spontaneously gathered to help the fire victims.
It's all the community people coming together. We saw the news and we all want to come out and contribute to our part and rebuild our way.
Does anybody organize, control that?
I believe it started with TikTok and 2 hot dog trucks came out here to support the community. Everyone else saw it and they all came out.
Thanks to these donations, fire victims can think about the next few days of their lives with some peace of mind at least.
First, we evacuated to Sherman Oaks, and it looked like we may have had to evacuate again. So we're just coming to get some of the stuff that we left behind, like clothes for work, sweaters. I brought one sweater with me.
The fire victims have only one request: not to forget them, because this support will be needed for a long time to come. A town of containers is already being built, where workers rebuilding the destroyed part of the city will live for several months or maybe even years. From Los Angeles, Rafał Stańczyk, Republica.